this is my 12-hour day. I start at 8 in the morning and I'm still going at 7:30 to 8:30 at night. But thank you. That's 25% extra. But it's 25% extra. Okay, no one needs to be exposed to that too long, guys. Okay. Next week you'll see a new hairstyle. So there might actually be a style in what we call a hairstyle. Oh my gosh, guys. Someone please help admit as we wait for people to arrive. I need to just open the slides very quickly. Oh my goodness. Where am I? Right. I should have been doing this. Mind you, people have seen my face and that's what I get assessed on. So that's all that matters. Slides. And then I had the slides open and then I closed it like a silly Billy. Hold on a second. Why is that not opening? Oh, there it is. To just finish these slides off, guys. So I'm just not going to get too fancy with this. We did those groups. So let's just start the recording and then I'll stop when I've done this. So when we look at the advantages and disadvantages of group decision making, I think the significant advantage is always going to be the fact that you have more brains, that you'll have different angles, that you'll have different opinions and points of view. And then also, if you're part of a decision, you're likely to accept that decision. The belief is that better decisions emerge. However, there's this concept called groupthink. Who's come across the term groupthink before, and where have you seen evidence of that? Groupthink. The reality, guys, is groupthink is a very, very dangerous thing in organizations. And groupthink is where everyone thinks the same way because thinking differently has significant consequences, including being excluded, being sidelined, or just straightforward being manipulated and bullied. So groupthink is where we want consensus so much that you will not speak up, even though it's very obvious that a dodgy decision is about to be taken. Give me examples of that in your own organization where you've had evidence of groupthink, where people, because they want so badly to get along, they take dodgy decisions, they take questionable decisions. So there's definite advantages. This is a danger in terms of what happens. Any examples of groupthink? Guys, I've been in organizations where systems, where products are purchased, and not be, yeah, well, Nadine, and I'm trying to be very trying to be diplomatic, where products have been purchased, and it was very clear that the product was wrong. But the people are so desperate to be liked. People are so desperate to be seen as being accommodating and working with others. That's some seriously questionable decisions in my time I've seen taken. Some serious question, in particular with products, and there have been some very strange ones. One of the worst ones for me was about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, when we were told, and this was imposed on us, that we're not allowed to give our students slides. And I remember in the meeting saying, well, I'm going to give my students slides. And people had a lot of a lot of comments about my ethicality. And I thought, well, I have no ethics. But it was such a dumb decision. And no one would say anything about it because, you want to see as somebody that's cooperative. I'm not going to share some of the other examples. I think Nadine and I will have a private Oh, the CEO, yeah, the CEO's opinion. Oh my gosh, that's my favorite. This is our decision, but literally is what I want you to do is give me feedback, but just in a different tone of voice, just in a different octave of voice. Those are questionable for me as well. Guys, and then disadvantages. Yeah, it could take a long time. It's costly, in particular in a world where we fight from crisis to crisis. Well, that's exactly it. And that's such a nice description because we love to be seen as a team player. And we were rewarded for being a team player. And I think I've seen some really, really crazy decisions because of this need. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're seen as obstinate, your promotion is sidelined and it will never ever happen again. Guys, and then just also, I think sometimes because we run out of time, we start making compromises. And for me, compromise decisions are watered down solutions. I think the worst thing about compromise is that everyone loses. So you have this watered down wannabe decision that clearly isn't ideal, but we pressed for time now. And then just this idea of this CEO person dominating a group. Guys, I don't know what page it is in the textbook, okay? And then this idea of groupthink. Groupthink is very dangerous. And I can tell you now, you've all seen examples of groupthink in your life. Without a shadow of a doubt, you would have seen examples of that. And then in terms of what we can do to manage these kind of decision processes, I think the first thing is this acute awareness that there are benefits and there are disadvantages to this. Because group decisions may run long, and considering also, just as an aside, as a disclaimer, you set a deadline for the final decision, remembering that there is the potential then for compromise. And then just this idea of not allowing a single person to bully others, to be the voice and be the reason and be the person that you base decisions on. And I think for groupthink, it is this ability to openly disagree with the group. But my gosh, and Sonica put it so well, this need to be a team player, the need to be a team player. Yeah, I think when you get to my age, you don't have that need that much anymore, to be honest with you. Hold on a second. Let's stop the recording and we'll start with the new one. Just